Greeting, ladies and gentlemen, and we welcome you back to hopefully inspiring, maybe interesting, hopefully maybe inspiring and interesting ideas, sometimes maybe just amusing ideas. That's the name of the program, Interesting Ideas. My name is Stan Houston, and we're glad that you're with us. We try and do something usually Monday through Friday, sometimes on the weekend, 12 to 15, maybe 20 minutes at the most, where we try and share something with you that'll be practical, helpful, and useful, and something that you can use in your life, in your work, in your profession, maybe in some of your planning for your future destiny. That's what we do, and occasionally we hope that we do it well. But today I'd like to take a little bit of a break from what everybody else is doing, and we'll talk about that briefly, but I would like to declare this is the day that we start lighting candles. This is the day that we start lighting candles. Well, that's an interesting change from what you've usually heard, but if you'll give me a few minutes to tell you a few stories, I think perhaps I can help you get started as we go into obviously what appears to be a rather difficult coming new year. I'm Stan Houston. That's the program, and it begins right now. Yes, lighting candles. Hey, here's the deal. In the United States of America, on the last Thursday of November, it's a national holiday. It truly is, and it's one of my favorite holidays. It's Thanksgiving Day, very similar to the harvest festivals that many countries and cultures have, and that's where we take time to do just that, give thanks. Thanks for the blessings we have, and thanks to one another for being there for us and helping us, and hopefully giving thanks to the people who've served us well. And we also believe very strongly that we should give thanks to God, because from God all good things, all blessings flow, to kind of quote the old hymn. So Thursday is truly Thanksgiving Day, but then we start doing the shopping for the holiday season. Then Friday is called Black Friday, and there's a story behind that. Please check it out. And we are encouraged to shop till we drop. Just spend lots of money buying all kinds of gifts for ourselves and gifts for others. So that's Black Friday. Then I didn't do anything like that, though. I didn't do that. I didn't participate in Black Friday. Then there's supposed to be Small Business Saturday, and that's when you're supposed to continue to shop till you drop, but make sure you do it at a small business, not just these big corporate organizations. I confess I did participate. There is a wonderful wild bird feed store just a few blocks from us, and Karen and I really have become birdies at this stage in our age, and there was a little special on bird seed, and we needed some, particularly for the holiday season, so we bought some bird seed from a small local family business. Sunday, we don't go shopping. We rest, reflect, and worship. But then, of course, this Monday is supposed to be Cyber Monday. And that's when we're supposed to shop till we drop, but do it online. And of course, the businesses are out there trying to give us Cyber Monday specials. And I was overwhelmed with them in the emails. And then they got right to it, too. Then Tuesday is Giving Tuesday, and that's when all of the charities and the nonprofit and the good cause organizations, of course, they come at you and say, hey, why don't you give us some extra money on Giving Tuesday? And I think that's the end of it. I don't think it goes into Wednesday. But I have already participated in giving because I do that on a regular basis. So I didn't do anything special for Giving Tuesday. But just as we tried to learn last week on, go back and listen to some of those programs. I can literally call it a school of gratitude. 4 or 5 days of learning about gratitude. And the importance of the big, the big G word, grateful, gratitude, generosity, grateful, gratitude, generosity. We kind of went through a school of gratitude and generosity last week. Maybe that was helpful to you. I hope so. What we try and do is, we're at 5 minutes now, but I oftentimes say that I often remember one of my mentors when I was trying to pull myself up after one of my significant falls in life, and I've had several. And his name was Brian Tracy, and he very much encouraged us to read. And so we now know that significant people read a lot, and he said that we should spend at least 20 minutes every day reading or listening to an audio program or something like that, because if we would spend 20 minutes every day trying to learn something new, particularly in the field of our interest or our career or our industry that we were in, who knows? Within 7 to 8 years, we could be world-class experts in that particular arena. We'd certainly be more interesting and perhaps more insightful and perhaps more influential, maybe have a little more impact in our world. So take 20 minutes every day to learn something you didn't know. Hopefully we can help you do that from time to time. But today, no Cyber Monday, and I've already given for Tuesday, but this is a day I remember quite well going back many years. Okay? Many years ago, my wife and I and our family left the United States, and we spent some time in the Caribbean working in international goodwill mission broadcasting. And that was quite an experience way down in the southern Caribbean. Then we pulled up our roots again, and we did this as volunteers. We moved to Amsterdam, and there we were very much involved in helping other people, particularly in the city of Hilversum, which was the just about 20, 30 kilometers outside of Amsterdam, was where all of the broadcasting world, Radio Netherlands, and all of their local broadcasting for the people there was done. And we were there primarily to help many people come from around the world, and particularly to Holland, which welcomed international learning, and how many trips we made to the famous Schiphol airport to bring men and women from all around the world into our little institute where we taught them how to be broadcasters and how to do so for a good cause and how to be really good at broadcasting. We enjoyed that. That was a good time. It had its ups and downs, and we still look back with great love for our experience in Holland. But one of the things I remember just about this time of the year, now Holland is, as much of Northern Europe, is quite north. And at this time of the year, think about it now, we're actually entering into perhaps the darkest time of the year. December 21st is when it reaches its climax, what we call sometimes, the solstice, the first day of winter. But the daylight hours are getting shorter and shorter, and the darkness is getting longer and longer. And the further north you are, the more exaggerated that is. And so during this time of the year, and many times because we lived in Holland and it was very much what people did at least then, I rode a bicycle to work. It was just perhaps a mile away, and I would oftentimes walk, but like thousands and millions of Dutch, I rode a bicycle to work. Well, of course, you had to be careful because particularly at this time of the year, if you'd leave early, you were bicycling in the dark, so your bicycle had to have a light. And then, of course, what would happen is in the nighttime, even if I would leave work sometime after 4 o'clock, which, of course, I oftentimes worked past that, guess what? It was dark again. So our bicycles had to be equipped with lights, and so we had to make sure our lights were always working because with all the traffic, it could be quite dangerous. So I remember that well, but I also know this, that because of that kind of atmosphere, this was the time of the year when you oftentimes came home, and the Dutch had a custom of leaving their windows open so everybody could even look in their house. And part of that went back to the Second World War, where the Nazis and the Gestapo and the occupation forces forced all of the Dutch people to keep their blinds fully closed so there'd be no light showing, and the lights of the city were turned off. In defiance of that, after the end of the war, the Dutch decided to open the windows. Even when it's nighttime, leave the windows open. But make sure you have some candles, because it was kind of cool and cold and damp, and so they wanted to make their home, and the word was gezellig. And there was no real translation for it, except I think the word we could best understand was cozy. And so you'd come home, and it was cool and it was cold. And so you got home, and you were going to have dinner. And oftentimes it would be a simple dinner. But you would do that. But what you'd do is you would light candles. And you'd light them all around your house. And that's not only the lights, but every evening at this time, your home was full of candlelight. And there was a certain peace to that. Now, as a result of that, you could go down to the store. And I remember doing this. We'd go down to the store, and you could actually buy candles by the pound. I mean, there were just scads of candles on sale, and you could even go in and you didn't choose 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. You choose what you wanted. You'd take them to the scale, and they'd weigh them, and they'd charge you per pound. And, of course, you could go through a lot of candles, but they were relatively cheap. It wasn't expensive, so you'd burn them. And obviously on your grocery shopping trip or something like that, you would go down and buy more candles. Make sure you had enough candles so you could have candlelight. I found that incredibly wonderful. I really did. And so at about this time of the year, it still sticks with me that even right here in the studio, I have my candles. And so what I do is at this time of the year, I go through the ritual every late afternoon, early evening of lighting the candles. And that causes me to think, maybe to say a word of prayer or thankfulness. But I'm grateful for the light. I'm grateful for the warmth. I'm grateful for whatever the candle comes to mean to me. And so I declare this Monday is candle lighting time. All right? And I'm going to encourage you to do that. Here we are going through, till about right up the Christmas time. As I said, this is the darkest and could be the coldest time of the year, at least in the northern hemisphere. And that's where I'm at. You might do the same thing some other time. But this is a time to light candles. And I would encourage you to make that whatever ritual is meaningful to you. I have many things that it means to me. But I would encourage you in these, they say, midwinter times, in these cold and dark times, that you get in the habit of lighting some candles. Candle lighting time. That's my interesting idea. I'm Stan Houston. Well, there we go. Stan Houston is my name, and I help you do one of the things that's very important, and that's I help you get to your audience and reach them with your wisdom, insight, and truth. We'll talk about that this week. I'm in the business of making it very simple. People like you who may not be professional, who may not be the popularity, not the celebrity, but my job is to help ordinary people use this medium called radio to share stories of inspiration, of insight, of wisdom and truth. My job is to help you become a master of self-expression in telling your story and doing it well and attracting an audience and perhaps improving your life, your business, and particularly your relationships, and maybe even the spiritual development of your own soul. Yes, that's part of what lighting the candle and speaking your wisdom is all about. I'd be glad to help you do that. Stan Houston, go to witradio.net, witradio.net. That stands for What It Takes Radio. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me, stanhouston@gmail.com, stanhouston@gmail.com. If you just put Stan Houston into your search engine, it will direct you to a bunch of stuff that I've done in the last many, many years and many, many videos. Who knows what will show up? It changes every day. But I believe that if you're curious and interested, there might be a video or a program that is just for you when you happen to link up and link in. Stan Houston. Just Google whatever else you do. See what happens. Please check our web stage out. And if you have questions, stanhouston@gmail.com. Light a candle and always close with a benediction. So, blessings, many blessings, and many good candle lightings for you at this time of the year. Till next time, all the best, all the blessings. Do well, be well. Bye for now.